Yeah. Welcome back to episode
009
of the Keep the Horse Alive podcast. This week, Project Coconut is in full effect. Kamala Harris
Coconut
is a brat girl.
We were not charmed by Claro. And did you know that we have the longest legs in the world?
We're also the worst people in the world.
Tune into this episode. We'll see you in the show.
Loves that. Bye, guys. Oh, say, can you see?
I fell out of a
coconut tree.
In the context we share.
In the twilight's last, Kamala Harris.
In the BRAT summer's last gleaming.
BRAT summer is seeing her last gleam, I fear.
But BRAT summer is going to look like
I think it's going to be BRAT Millennium because Charlie just posted that. I believe BRAT Part 2 is coming next week.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Welcome back, everyone. Or I guess I shouldn't say that because, hey, welcome, because this could be your first time here. Maybe you're not coming back. Like, meaning this is our first time listening to the pod. Oh.
Because obviously if you've listened to like the previous episodes, they're coming back.
Yes. Bump that. Sweet Kamala Harris is in the running.
First on the docket, baby. Let's go. Because this is our first piece of business that we're going to cover on this political podcast is that Kamala Harris, she's our
queen for the moment.
She's our queen. And tell me why. Actually, I don't know where I was going with that. Here's some tea for you guys. Some really crazy tea is that we already recorded this episode, but I didn't turn on my mic. What was that? So because I didn't turn on my microphone, and so we're having to re-record it. But anyways, like we're in person in New York City for the first time recording our podcast, which is literally insane. The energy that is being shared right now through this screen and in this apartment with the roaches that are crawling throughout the walls, insane.
We're back, and the roaches are our best friend, and they were recently exterminated as of
yesterday. Yeah, he came and he put a big bomb in here, and I think they're all hopefully dead.
Yes.
But like, I get it. They need a place to live. They can't pay rent. How are they going to be contributing citizens to society? They're just a roach. But maybe ghosts to someone else's apartment. Anyways. Yeah, we're in New York. This is like the biggest one.
The biggest one. We're finally back together, and it's nice to be able to be recording the podcast in person again.
Yes.
Look at this setup. Can you believe?
This is Bella, our vice president,
yes.
Our soon-to-be vice president, running alongside of the ballot with Kamala Harris.
Jacob Ahorty.
We have Zendaya, Tashi Duncan, if you will. And Timothy Chalamet, New York City royalty, who also lives in the walls with the roaches.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our little rat man himself.
Yes.
Just to recap, like getting to New York has not been easy.
No.
We've been doing them on Zoom because I was still in North Carolina at the time, but it's been quite the journey with Delta freaking Airlines. Never have I ever wanted to say the word bomb on a plane before and go on that no-fly list because my flight was so delayed and my luggage was luggaged.
That's
and
real as
placed
fuck.
On a different flight.
Those are bars.
So I had to literally go into New Jersey when they gave me the wrong address to get my luggage.
No, because it's their lack of just like they be giving out addresses to any address to anybody. They don't give a shit about where you end up.
No,
they don't give a shit about, oh, you haven't had clean underwear in 8 days. Not our problem, but it is your problem because my luggage is with you, Delta.
Yes, and
it's always Delta too. I hate Delta. Put me on the no-fly list. I'll drop the B word on the next plane because I hate you, Delta. Like you have given me personally and now Nuey nothing but stress.
And they were literally had us on the plane for hours, and then not only that, but the AC had been not on.
That's what happens all the time.
And never have I ever. The reason why I was going to drop the B word was because all of a sudden I've never like. Yes, adults are all children, but everybody was acting up on that flight. We were literally about to take off, and I've never seen so many more people hit the flight attendant button to the point where the flight attendant was like, please stop doing that.
I would have offed myself and changed the trajectory of all those passengers' lives right then and there if I was
Literally,
the flight
like,
attendant.
The flight attendant would literally walk over to the guy who pressed the button and be like, please stop doing that unless it's an emergency.
I feel so bad for them sometimes. It's always like a grown adult too.
No, yeah.
Like the children are acting
Yeah.
better than you right now.
But he was like, do you want me to pass out on this plane? Because I'll do it right now. And she was like, well, do you want to make it to New York? And he was like, shut us all up immediately.
Period. Clocked his shit. Right then and there.
But of course, when I'm like on the phone with Delta, they're like, the recent customer experience that I've run into just continues to trail me, where I'm like, I'm literally in New Jersey in some random neighborhood, and the guy answers to me on the phone. He goes, well, what do you want me to do? Bitch.
They make you feel like an idiot.
Yeah. I'm like, send me a car, send me a gift card, send me some miles, some flights. Like, I want to go to Paris. Like, I don't know.
I'll get on the phone for you with them, and I'll clock their shit. Is what I'll do. I'll pull a flight attendant. I will.
It's either that or the B word, and that's a joke. Okay, don't put me on the no-fly list.
Delta, if you're watching, we would love to have you sponsor this podcast.
Yes, of course. Well, yes, not me switching up, but I'm finally have everything, and I'm fully settled.
You're clean.
In my apartment. I'm clean.
Clothes are.
I would have
acquired.
originally had to see Z-Way in my airplane clothes from 2 days prior.
Right, but we didn't see Z-Way.
No.
And we'll cover that in a bit.
Yes.
As to why we didn't see our queen Z-Way. However, Kamala Harris, she's back on the docket. She's going to win the presidential election. That has been all my TikTok has been, is just Kamala edits, and like the sad part is they don't get tiring. I will tap in and listen to every single Kamala edit. She recently released her new campaign video today, her video campaign to Beyonce's freedom, because she's a part of Beehive. Yes. And I'm sure Beyonce is a part of Kamala Coconut Hive. It's Project Coconut. We're in full effect.
Did you fall out of the coconut tree? Well, yes.
Well, yes, we all did.
There's no party/team that works harder than the gay interns that are working in all the small offices around the world.
They're going crazy right now.
When the world is in peril, we're one Ethel Cain, Kamala Harris, edit mashed up together from winning the election. And I'll be honest and say that the MAGA, Make America Great Again, has nothing on BRAT Summer.
They don't have a single thing on Kamala Summer. Kamala BRAT Summer.
And I respect literally a London queen, but also I respect somebody from a literal other country being like, you can have my
she said I ride for you, Kamala. She said I ride for you. Yeah. I ride. And that was really epic of her.
Yeah.
Because if you have Charlie XCX's approval, you have every single approval of any LGBTQI or A. They are now on board. Literally. With Kamala. I mentioned this, but personally, I need her to elect or get Bella Hadid on board as VP, because I don't know if anybody has seen the video, but Bella Hadid recently spoke at a college graduation, and she was like, I will have all of my sponsors, all of my campaigns drop me immediately, but it is free Palestine until the day I die. And when I saw that, I said, this is our Princess Diana. I need her for president. Kamala could be her VP, but like, this is our Princess Diana. Just like Princess Diana infamously like hugged the boy with AIDS to prove to the citizens of the world that AIDS was not a terrible death sentence to anybody who encountered, like, she speaks out for what she believes in. I think that's a beautiful thing. Like, if I had a baby right now, I'd give it to Bella to hold before I even as a mother held her. I would be throwing my baby at her.
She rides for her home country, and it's so incredible to see. Like, I do feel so bad for her getting dropped from all those campaigns and stuff like that, enough to where you have to hire a legal team to be like, you originally were going to use these until I spoke out about this. And
as if like the stuff she's speaking out about is controversial, because is that type of stuff ever controversial? No, it's just the brands don't want to lose their MAGA audiences.
Yeah, which is crazy. But I am really proud of Miss Bella Hadid. And just for that, I will be buying some Orabella to wear anything.
To wear to the box.
We're
going to celebrate at the box when Kamala wins. Me and you, Kamala, Bella, Charlie, We go to the box club. We club it up. We go to the boiler room set that Kamala is headlining. Kamala headlines. We do a little quick set. Bella gets on the DJ set, and then Charlie ends the night.
Wait, a quick like update about the box. I just recently have been watching, because just now that I'm here, like just reviews of the box and stuff like that. But there's a lot of naked people on stage. Did you know? But they're like shooting ping pong balls, like and pulling beer bottles out of places. And like that's like the appeal of the box, which I thought it was just like some cabaret show, which I guess it is cabaret. But then one of the girls was like, yeah, like one of the dancers spit in her mouth. Like she had to hold her mouth open while one of the dancers spit in her mouth and then pulled that beer bottle out of,
her ass. So maybe we shouldn't bring President Kamala Harris to the box.
No.
And I don't know if I'd personally want to go to the box.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like for the hip hoppers.
I don't
and
think
like
it is. That doesn't sound like it at all.
But it's like weird enough to where people are like, you have to go at least once, or it's like
maybe I'll sit it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if Bella's ever been to the box.
She probably has, like maybe one time. I think it's more so like a Charlie and Troye Sivan type of engagement.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Charlie can meet us at the boiler room set.
Yeah.
Since she's closing it.
And then we'll both pull beer bottles out of, because I'm not paying $30 for a cocktail.
No, or to see somebody pull it out of their ass.
Yeah. Now that I know where to hide it, I feel like I'm gonna be $30 richer every time I go out.
That's true. That could be like your street. You could like, instead of busking, that could be your party trick in the subway.
Yeah, I agree. There was a period of my life where this is so bad. But like if you go to music festivals, like sometimes people will put substances in that area.
Right.
And I wouldn't do this.
Because it goes to the bloodstream faster if it's through the anus?
No, just to sneak it in like through security.
Oh, okay.
And I was like asking my friends like, hey, not that I would ever do this. It was just a hypothetical.
Right.
Wink. But if I were to ever pull some butt molly out of there, would you take it? And most people said no. And I think only one person.
I don't think I would.
Only one person, I think, said yes.
Although here's the thing. Our gut microbiomes, totally opposite. So I would get a little bit of your microbiome if I ingested that molly. I would instantly switch, the flip would switch from constipated, because I'm chronically constipated, to your diarrhea tendencies. So I'd be getting a high from the molly, and I'd also be getting your healthy gut microbiome into mine.
And that's what we call a fair trade.
That's what we call a fair trade, a molly fecal transplant, if you will. So if also like we could open a business,
a butt molly business,
but it's like microbiome as well. So it's kind of like a prebiotic.
Honestly, when I tell you not a single ounce of kombucha has ever helped me, when I tell you I was gagging on a hamburger this morning, I'm not kidding. That's how bad it is.
Kombucha is so bad.
I felt so bad because my birthday is this weekend, but I had to tell everybody not to bring me any sweets because I will literally die if I ingest literally anything.
Wait, because of kombucha?
No, not because of kombucha, but I'm just so like...
Oh, you're sensitive tummy.
So sensitive to everything right now for some reason.
Maybe just the stress of moving.
I have no idea. Dairy makes me so nauseous. Like there was cheese on the burger. And then like if I ever have a coffee, like I'm literally like gagging.
Oh, you're done.
Which I found out, thank God for my crushes, but I found this information out through somebody that I had a crush on. And he was like, yeah, anytime I drink dairy, like I throw up. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm an empath, but also like that is also something
you
I've been
took on his
experiencing.
pain.
I did. And I'm really glad that he brought that up because I've been doing more research on my allergies, but she's not looking too hot right now.
I have a lot of allergies as well. I don't, but like they're self-diagnosed, so.
I wish it was like something cute like pollen, but if I can't eat a freaking hamburger.
It's like, what's the point of living sometimes?
Or a hot dog or a corn dog. Like that's
I'll be damned before you put a piece of vegan cheese in front of me.
No.
Made of soybean, because that's not cheese. I need it straight from the tit of a cow. Period.
Oh, you recently interviewed Emma Corrin.
Yes.
Icon legend, and went on a huge press junket, which I'm so proud of you. Literally, go watch that Litterbox and leave a comment on that little Litterbox video because it's up.
When I saw you posted on your story, I got really emotional because I was like, Wow, that's
It's
nice.
incredible.
But yeah, I did a press junket for Letterboxd for the new Deadpool movie. Have I ever seen a Deadpool film in my life? No. Did I know what a press junket was before signing on to this? No. But they taught me and I did it. It was at the Four Seasons.
Slay.
When I tell you, like, it was Sweet Life of Zack and Cody up in there, up in that bitch. Like, we had room service. Like, we didn't, but the Four Seasons people did. And I saw them. Like, I saw the room service people, like, walking through with, like, beautiful trays. But there was, like, a buffet for all the press people and, like, free drinks and, like, free coffees and stuff like that. So it was kind of cool, considering they held us hostage there for 8 hours. But it went really well. I was super nervous beforehand, but once I, like, entered, because they conduct them like in the higher floors, like up in the suites, and there's like just like these huge cameras and like boom mics and everything, and it's just like this dark room, and they're like sitting there in these lights like waiting for you, and you walk in awkward and you're just kind of like, hi, nice to meet you. So basically I sit down in front of Emma and Matthew McFadden. It was like a double interview, and like me and Emma locked eyes, and unfortunately to everyone else in the room, we kissed. And then we were like, oh my God, sorry, that was like really unprofessional. And it was like, okay, whatever, that was weird. And then I asked a few questions, and I asked her a personal question, and she was like, whoa, that was really good. That was a really good question. We kissed again. And then basically it was over, and I interviewed the director after that, and they held me there for 7 more hours because they had to give me a physical SD card. I said, guys, just email this to me. Why are we here? And then I met Emma afterwards. And
You almost took a nap in
the suite.
Didn't you take a nap? You took like you had like breaks in between, right?
No.
Or no?
Well, like I was able to like go out, but I had to be back. So I wasn't able to come back here. So I went up to the suite that Emma's interviews were conducted in and took a nap next door.
That's really cool though.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you. Even though, are we the biggest Deadpool fans? Well, no. But did you leave the interview being like, I'm a Deadpool fan now?
Will I watch this Deadpool because Emma Corrin is in it? Yes, maybe. But will I watch any of the other Deadpools? No. It's like one of those instances where you watch it because you like the person in it.
Yeah.
Also, next press junket that I'm going to ride for, I'm going to like be on Letterboxd's ass, is the new Harris Dickinson movie.
Yes.
What's it called? I don't know. It's about him.
I will be there.
Literally. And there's a New York City premiere. And if I don't get on that press, I'm committing an act of crime.
Yeah.
I'm committing a B word.
You're going to drop the B word.
Yeah.
I went through and started watching a bunch of Harris Dickinson interviews, and I ran into like the most iconic. It's like, if anybody's wondering, go watch the BAFTA with Harris Dickinson, and she is so like nervous and wants Harris Dickinson so bad, and
That's gonna be me.
Related to an interviewer.
I think I'm going to like, if I am able to interview him, like my heart is going to be in my literal ass. Like, I don't know no words are going to come out.
Literally.
Sweat all over.
She was like playing with her earring and then like playing with her hair, like twirling her hair. And she was like, I feel like you're so underrated. And I was like,
I'll literally fall on top of him in the interview and ask everybody to leave.
Yeah. Like, I've never been so charmed by a man ever. And
I'm watching Murder at the End of the World, which Emma Corrin is in, and Harris Dickinson. So because I was watching because of her, but then Harris came in, him and his little slutty mullet full of like fake tattoos.
Yeah.
Just brilliant.
And he's so cute, and he's such a big supporter of like independent films, and
it's beautiful.
Really taking time to get like roles that he really likes. And
it's admirable when an actor takes roles that they are passionate about and like want to support indie cinema, because after Triangle of Sadness he had those roles being thrown at him. Yeah. But he's accepting, like, there was a movie called Scrapper that was like a directorial debut, like kind of after Sun, but like for people who aren't on antidepressants. Like, just a happy movie about a young dad, but like that was amazing. And yeah, Harris, come on the pod, friend of the pod.
There's like a clip of, I watched like the full interview, but he was talking about the casting for Scrapper, but he had just finished like, maybe it was that project, but he was saying like, while he was submitting for the casting for wardrobe, like he went ahead and bleached his hair like himself, because he was like, I'm so ready, I don't want them to question anything, because he had brown hair, but the character has bleached tips.
Right.
And then he sent them a picture and they were like, oh no. because they
"Baby,
didn't like it and they had to like redo it. So he was joking and saying that he looked like a Guinness because there's like all that like white foam at the top, and then
That
it's
is
just like,
so British of him to
yeah.
say."
And I am just like obsessed with him for that. And he also comes from like made a
YouTube.
bunch of cute like videos in the woods, to the point where his mom was like, you need to like either get serious and like do something or like figure it out.
He literally just wants to like be one with the earth and like run around in the grass and like do twirls and like run with unicorns, and
Which
it's
is
like,
so keep the horse alive coded.
that is so like he needs, like, he's so on brand and like in tune with us. It's crazy.
I just need to find out he has like similar allergies to me, and then we're golden.
Oh my god, imagine like he couldn't eat dairy, like y'all would never have a problem.
Well, I feel bad because like that's all some people eat, and like I literally can't eat it.
Well, just order something else or tell them not to. If they really loved you,
True.
they wouldn't provide you the dairy.
Yeah.
One person who, if they were not able to eat dairy, and I would still provide the dairy for them to make them sick, it would be, and this is going to be controversial, it's also the main topic of this podcast, it would be Claro.
Miss Claro Cottrell, full government legal name.
We're her ops.
We originally, last episode, were talking about how we were so excited to go see the Z-Way show. We live quite close to each other, and on my way to my apartment, I saw that Claro had posted the
One night only show
in New York, and at the same time you texted me,
Yes.
like as I was in the middle of like on my way to do my laundry. So we sprinted over
like I had never gone from a slumber to the streets that fast.
Yes,
Like I ran to the Mercury Lounge to get my tickets.
there was no time to waste. We were hustling.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up getting to the line.
Broad daylight. It was the heat wave week, so it was about 90 degrees, sun beating on all of us. Little did we know, when you got the tickets, you had to sign a contract as well as fill out in ledger, in pen, all of your credit card information instead of just paying right then and there. So the line was about 3 hour wait. We were burnt, we were sweating, we were on the verge of passing out.
Because there was no tent covering any of us. So literally imagine like moving up in the line, and we were kind of close to the front, and we were really lucky because we were in the sun for a long time, but then eventually we did end up moving to the shade. But there were people that had been waiting there even longer than us because they were closer towards the back.
Yes.
And that was direct sunlight, so everybody was getting lobster fried. Like people were moving their little, that's when you know it's bad. That's when people start moving their little straps around to try to like save some of their skin.
Yeah. Conserve 1 little centimeter at a time.
Literally.
It's desperate. It was
And
desperate.
I felt so bad for everybody waiting in line. But that was the start. That was the start of the drama.
So we get our tickets. The next day we show up 5:30, 6 p.m. We're waiting in line. Doors are supposed to open at 7. 7:30 rolls around. They open the doors. Okay, we're 30 minutes late. Whatever.
Right.
We go through the metal detectors. They take our phones because it's a no phone concert. So they put them in our little pouches and lock the pouches up so you're unable to like access them without a magnet. We get our drinks. We're like getting a little tipsy. We're like, okay, Claro's gonna come on soon. We're gonna be feeling it, have a little buzz to Claro. Like it'll be really beautiful and nice. About 2 hours.
Time keeps clicking and clicking. There's none of us have a clock also. And we're all kind of vibing. We're guessing. The playlist is going, but it just keeps
Oh my God.
going.
At that point, it was like, turn the goddamn playlist off. Just let us sit with our thoughts and in the silence, please.
And it wasn't a situation where people were like talking, like networking and like having a good time. We were genuinely all just there waiting.
Like, guys, we're chronically online. We're all here chronically online girls. Like, what are we supposed to do without our phones?
And not to make it even worse, but there was a couple in front of us that kept making out.
Literally, like, they would have had sex if it was another hour.
Like...
Actually, I wanted to punch them in the face.
It was so, and there was a girl that tried to cut us and like had to humble herself and be like, move away. Like she stood there for like maybe 3 minutes and then realized it was a bad idea because everybody hated her.
We see like the band finally show up, or they must have been backstage because they kind of like came out like one by one, and they were all just like, they got their stuff set up. We're doing checks. They were like checking their phone, checking their watches, like kind of looking around awkward.
Genuinely waiting on the side.
Yeah.
Like literally hand on the railing. One of them literally sat down on the staircase.
Yeah.
Everybody, I could tell that Miss Claro was not in the building.
She was not in the building. She was not even close to the building. But I would say like 9:30 rolls around and she finally shows up. She gets on stage. She says, "Hi everybody. Yeah, so this is the first time performing this album. I'm only going to do it top to bottom, no extra songs. Let's go. Hope you enjoy." She did her first song. Okay. She immediately, not a breath in between, went to her second song. After the second song, the band like didn't start immediately. She literally like even said it in like a rude tone.
Yes.
She's like, "Guys, like I'm ready. I'm always ready. You don't have to like, don't wait for me. Like just start." She said, "Just start."
Yeah.
She was like ready. Like she was ready to go. She was not discussing anything in
Did
between
not
the
want
songs.
a break in between each song. Didn't want to take the time to really be like, "Hi, did we like the last one? Like, oh my gosh, new album." Nothing. She was just like trying to speed run the album as quickly as possible, which made it really awkward.
Yeah. At one point, she was like, "Well, what did she say? You're not dance."
She, in the middle of performing one of her songs, like I think maybe it was like the one after "Sexy to Someone."
Okay.
It
Which,
was
like,
like very early on.
yeah.
She just cuts, like she just stops singing for a second. Like she like misses a couple words and she just goes, "Can you guys like just like start dancing or something? Like can you guys move around?" And I was shook because I had never been talked to by an artist like
And
that.
as an entertainer, you're supposed to make my body want to feel. Like you're supposed to make me want to like move and dance. Like if you're not doing that because you're literally counting down after each song, and like taking any like form of emotion out of like this experience, that's on you, girl.
And it was such low stakes. Like the part with me, like it was so frustrating was we didn't even have our phones. I would get it if we were all like chattering, we were all talking over her, we were all like super distracted, but everyone was genuinely just watching her and enjoying the performance.
Yeah.
Did we know every single one of the lyrics?
No. The album was released 7 days ago. 6 days ago.
And were people in the crowd definitely there to hear Bags or some of her older hits? Sure.
Forever.
But if you're a big artist, it's something that you just kind of have to expect and deal with. But if you make the decision to like play the album front to back, it's a new album. Stay committed, girl.
Right.
Don't take it out on me.
For real.
As a fan, I feel like we really did a good job for the ones that were like really popular. Sexy to Someone, Juna, Nomad. I feel like we did the dang thing. Like Out of My Love, I feel like the crowd was so hyped for.
Period.
But how did she end the concert?
Oh, she ended the concert. So towards the end, she said, "Okay, 4 songs left." After each song from the 4th song from the bottom, she counted down each one. She said, "Okay, 3 more songs left. Okay, 2 more songs left. Okay, this is our last song." Halfway through the last song, guys, I shit you not, she takes her bag, she puts it on her shoulder. She's ready. She's literally already packing up as she is singing these lyrics.
Literally.
And I mean, the song comes to an end. She has her stuff. She grabs her beer. She grabs her dab pen. She's out. She's out like a light drake. She's gone, never to be seen again. All that in a beautiful 150, 200 person intimate setting, and she couldn't even answer a question, do anything, make it feel intimate in any way.
She left so quickly that she was wearing headphones on stage for the performance, and she walked out with them on, like still on.
Like she literally forgot to leave the equipment behind.
Yeah, she literally kept the headphones on and walked out with them.
There was a stool there. If she could have sat on that stool and been ejected out of the ceiling into the ether, out of that building as quickly as possible, she would have done so.
And her final words for the performance were, "Thank you guys so much for coming. Like, I don't know if you guys like that or not. Maybe you did. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but okay, bye." Girl, I've been outside. I've been outside for several hours, and I've been inside.
And at this point, mind you, I like that drink, we were sobered up. I was so tired. I just wanted to go to bed. And she hadn't even started yet.
No. Literally no. Yeah. And I had never really gone to a performance before where I left feeling bad, but I genuinely walked out of it being they were all talking, recapping the show, and one of the first things I said was, "I don't know if I liked that. I didn't enjoy that."
No. That being the first thought after leaving a show.
Yeah.
And you know where we would have not felt those sentiments? At Z-Way's show. That was supposed to start at 9:30 p.m., but Miss Claro got on at 9:15. And Z-Way, we just want to just like put this out in the ether that, girl, if we knew that she was going to come on late and we could have chosen which show to go to, hands down, we would have attended your beautiful sold out comedy show at Joe's Pub in New York City.
And I think, like, for me, what it boils down to is, like, if we went the extra mile to lock up our phones, which I literally don't understand what the point was, because,
Truly.
like, she could have cared less if we were there or not. I almost wish that we had our phones so I could clock it on the camera app and show everyone.
So I could have seen what time it is, so I could have made a mad dash to Joe's pub to see Z-Way.
I just, like, felt, like, super unappreciated for the effort that we went towards, like, seeing everybody get sunburnt. Like, we were in line the previous day for like 4 hours, and then the next day to wait again another 4 hours. Like, crazy. And then to have an artist get up on stage and kind of rush the show. I get that she has anxiety. I respect that. Like, it is nerve-wracking.
No, yeah.
But there are 6-7 people on stage, and then to have the band members outside talking to fans, like spending time with fans, like asking fans about the show. You ran into the iconic bongo lady.
The bongo lady and the like, she did that thing, the maracas or whatever. I literally told her, I was like, you're my favorite part of the show. Yeah. You were so good. She's like, thank you so much. Yeah. Claro could have done that. Claro had places to be, people to see, I guess.
And all she really said about the band was, like, these are the people that helped me on my project. Did I enjoy the overall performance? Sure. And was she, like, a little bit thankful in between some of them?
I think Claro, a little bit. I think Claro needs to learn how to, actually, no, this would have been too critical of me to say. Is it possible for her to sing above a certain decibel?
I've seen a lot of people say that.
Because sometimes she's just a little soft-spoken and I can't hear it. Hey, what? But I get it. It's the vibe. Yeah. Listen, Juna and Echo, my favorite songs off the album.
I don't remember it going because that mouth clarinet clocked the T and, like,
yeah,
I ate that.
Yeah, I ate it up.
Ate it up. And that was so iconic.
The vocal trumpets. On another heinous piece of media that was consumed this week, I saw long legs finally. More like normal legs. More like average height legs, because there were no long legs. Harris Dickinson would have provided long legs. To go into this being, like, scared to my core because people on the streets were saying that people were leaving the theaters throwing up because they were so scared. Like, I was kind of ready to be scared. I hate horror, but sometimes I'm like, I'm down to get a little freaky. Like, I want to be scared in the theater. And it did not provide at all. There was maybe one jump scare. The main actress, Micah Monroe, she was brilliant. Nick Cage was very Nick Cagey, maybe a little too Nick Cagey. And there was not a single ounce of plot. I watched some interviews after with the director, Osgood Perkins, and he was, like, shitting on Ty West and, like, all the more recent, like, Neon and A24 films that have been coming out. And he's like, yeah, like, my take with this one was, like, I really tried to just, like, there was no plot. And some people aren't going to like that, but I'm leaving it to the audience to, like, figure it out.
Did anybody figure it out is my question.
I don't think anybody ever figured it out.
The most... Like, it has been such a controversial film because, like, the most common response or, like, the most common take is, like, there was no plot. And for him to say that, it's like, girl, we know.
And there, like, was a plot, but, like, it didn't like play out right. Like, It didn't feel right. Like, it turned into, like, a movie that I don't think anybody was expecting. Like, the first half was pretty good, but then the plot got just, like, plotless. Yeah. I don't know. Like, if you're an artist and you're, like, your whole shtick is, like, I like to be confusing so nobody gets it. And, like, chill, bro. Chill, Mr. Film School, okay? Chill.
Honestly, there's nothing I hate more than a high-budget horror film where I can achieve the same experience signing up for Grindr and having the person 300 feet away.
That's frightening. That's because then
it's literally seeing the bottom half of the bodega man getting sent to you, and you're saying, I'm not going there for a bagel tomorrow.
Whoa.
Speaking of long legs, so if that guy was specifically looking for a plot, I feel like we could have delivered something more enticing and special.
Yeah, and last podcast we actually live wrote a film. Yeah. But since this is a re-record, we're going to pitch it to you guys. So the plot is Nuey.
Yes. Beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. And I look a little different. I'm not going to lie. I come across as very tall with very tiny feet, and that goes very well on the Grindr app.
Right.
For the bodega man,
he'll accept it.
Not the intended audience, but I'm like 5'7". I go through limb lengthening surgery. I put some rods in my legs.
So we're getting a little body horror in here. We're going to show the implants being implanted. It's going to be a little crazy. It's going to be a little gory. Kevin walks out of the surgery room. Oh my God, 8 feet tall.
8 feet tall, and I'm picking up a job. I'm going to start working in a grocery store. I can only get the stuff on the top aisle of the shelves.
Erewhon, maybe?
Erewhon. Something of the sort.
Publix?
Where any type of cashew jar, soup jar, Italian pasta jar, you see it, I got it.
Right.
I'm up there like swimwear.
Hell
I've
yeah.
never seen swimwear
Hell
be on a
yes.
rack that high.
Hell yes. And then maybe I'll be like a side character. I'll be the director, but I'm gonna walk in and I'm gonna say, oh my god, I just dropped my soup all over the ground. The can, it splattered. I need you to help me clean it, please. And something bad happens because
I'm not putting the rods in my arms, but I can't bend over.
he can't bend over.
I've got little tiny T-Rex arms.
Yeah, the proportions are all out of whack because the surgery was a bit botched. So Kevin
Looks like Bella Hadid.
Yeah. It's kind of just this type of situation where you can't get the range of reach.
And we were also thinking about placing the setting in a hotel room where we were going to convert that hotel room into a grocery store. And we would have Paris Dickinson in there, Timothée Chalamet in there, and we could kind of all...
Paul Mescal, famous 5'7"-ish. He'll also undergo surgery. And that's where the plot really comes in because you get revenge on the surgeon, but then you take over his role. So you start taking in these beautiful men who want leg reconstruction, and you start doing their surgery, but you botch them. And then you're just a whole clan of botched men.
And the gag of it all is that we would all be the same height.
Yeah.
But I would be seeking revenge because what do all three of them have in common? They've all starred in gay movies. Are they gay? No. But we're about to have the most LGBT pride rainbow experience that you all have ever seen. And these small arms are going to be put to work.
Oh, hell yes, they are. And I'll be watching as directress. I'll for sure be the director. And if anybody wants to audition and make this happen, present us with a role. Paris Dickinson, Timothée Chalamet, Paul Mescal. If you guys are watching, feel free to sign on. You all support indie cinema. We're indie.
And sure, there's going to be a couple of pairs of peaches in that film.
Oh, hell yes.
And
hell
the working
yes.
title of this film is going to be...
Long legs to longer legs.
Or The Smallest Arms, comma, the longest legs.
The smallest arms, the longest leg. If you get my gist. If you get my gist in there. So yeah, we're really excited to revive the long legs title.
Yeah. And it is a horror movie, but there's aspects of romance. There's kissing involved.
Gay.
It's a little gay. I'm not going to lie. 4 guys in a room just talking about...
You've seen Challengers.
I've seen Challengers. It's a small room.
Yeah.
There's only so much space so we could occupy without touching one another. Right. So
it'll be really beautiful. Maybe I'll direct along with Luca Guadagnino. He could get the hotel setting. So that's basically our plan.
Will I be bringing my butt, Molly? No. I feel like
one step at a time.
I'll just use my charm.
Oh, charm, if you will. Claro, name drop.
I fear, honestly, if that movie happened, I would leave a crying, sopping mess, and then I would be like, feel so bad.
Feel just so gutted for anybody that had to be involved
and witness that, but at the same time it would be super iconic.
Yeah, that's the type of shit that A24 puts out. Like literally the FBI agents that are watching me right now are going to relay this to the A24 CEO, and they're going to make it happen by next month. We're going to be seeing trailers for Long Legs to Longest Legs, and it's going to be an A24 movie.
And even if it came out to be the most brilliant, beautiful film ever, I guarantee you that press circuit, everybody would be like, well, it wasn't fun.
Oh yeah, well
it was not a joy to me.
I was forced to sign on to this project. Oh, you watched some good movies?
Yes, I'm on a movie grind recently because I've been recently...
You've been cinephile as fuck. You've been using the AMC A-List Stubs membership up, using those 3 movies a week.
And I need to go see it. I feel like my next film is going to be Twisters, or the new film that's dropping.
We need to do 4DX Twisters. We're going to be doing 4DX Twisters, and we would literally pod from the theater.
That's crazy.
Pod from the Twisters 4DX seats. That's crazy.
I texted Lauren, I said, we're going to go see Twisters. I'm going to put in my headphones and a blindfold mask, and I'm just going to act like somebody else is there. I'm going to leave the film, and I'm going to say, you're going to
say, Harris, that was a great experience.
I'm going to be like, sorry, what?
we were in a movie theater. Yeah. We were seeing Twisters.
Yes. I'm going to be using my imagination and having a good time.
You're onto something.
But yes, I did see The Worst Person in the Freaking World, which I've always had a love and a passion for Norway and the work that they put out. I related so hard to it because towards the beginning, which is so horse coded, but she switches her career path like 6 times from medical school, goes into psychology, and then eventually lands on photography, and then has several boyfriends, almost cheats on one of them. And it's like not a movie that I feel proud of being. It's like, just wow, like this I can relate to that.
This is a biopic. This is a biopic about my life.
But in the sense, like in the period of my life, like where I'm at, I just feel like that's kind of like the best way to do it. Is it the most practical and the most like stable? No, but it does feel good kind of going through that entire process and being a little bit more sure about the decisions that you kind of made, whether they end up in the like not cutest and most like billionaire status way, but it's still like more me. One of my favorite scenes of that movie that you mentioned was the time stopping
when she is running through that city and like it's like everybody else is frozen. Like I get chills just thinking about it. That movie is really so beautiful, and I need to rewatch it because I watched it like the year it came out, which was like 2020, and I think like at this point in my life, 4 years later, let's ignore that it was 4 years ago, 2020. Now that I'm 25 and I've lived in 2 different cities and I just moved to New York and I've experienced so much more life, like I know I'll be able to like tap in and relate even more.
Yes.
And just like her career trajectory to be going from something that is such like a stable job to being like, no, I want to be a photographer.
Yeah. And it's like, I've been noticing this a lot recently where, I mean, I guess this is a film that was made 4 years ago, but some of like the movies that I've seen recently, the first half is a kind of different type of movie, and then it kind of transitions towards like this other like whirlwind, which is kind of nice as well. And I just love the simplicity of it. One of the things like I forgot to mention is like the beauty of Scandinavia or whatever, but I guess like the job market is like so hard, but like she just like works at a bookstore and it's nobody's like, oh, you work at a freaking bookstore, like that sucks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no like degradation of like certain jobs because like everything is, I mean, like you need to have the person that works at the bookstore to keep the bookstore going.
And they're not seen as like lower or like less than, like, because they're still providing a service and like benefiting society in a great way. But it's like in the US, like if you're a teacher, everybody's kind of like, well, good luck, like you're not gonna make any money. Or if you like go into the arts, it's like not seen as like valuable or
good luck, equitable, right? Trying to make money off that.
Yeah, as some office worker who's like watching TikTok on their phone, which no hate, like I wish I was you. Sure. Literally in Young Royals, one like the guy is like, he breaks up with the main guy, not to spoil anything, but he like starts dating like I think like a janitor, and it's like not weird, but I feel like in the US
it's just the US. It is just the US. I'm telling you,
it would never fly. Like nobody's like looking at him weird or looking at like nobody's being like, oh, that's weird. But like in the US, I just feel like that's not like something that would ever.
We are so like capitalist pilled here. It's crazy. Like even living in Paris, like there was none of that. And that, like, I would tell my mom, like, there's just like everybody seemed very, and I mean, like, I am coming into this take as a white woman. Also, like, France, I'm not native there, so maybe this is just like my wrong take. But like living in Paris, I've sensed none of that. And like traveling across Europe, going to Portugal, going to Germany, like there was like, you treated the grocery store clerk like you did, I don't know, like you would the president. Like everybody's just equal and everybody's needed in society. And just because you have a job at a bookstore does not mean you're not pursuing your true passion. And sometimes it's like, it's the moments of like living and working these like bookstore jobs and whatever and side jobs that like really contributes to your art and what you're pursuing, what your main goal is.
I think New York is really beautiful in that way too, where the job market here is like really tough. So I just went on an interview today to go work at a grocery store, and I feel like had I been home, like that would have been like crazy. And I don't know, I just appreciate that, the simple life in Scandinavia, and they like literally just like go for walks and frolic in nature,
because again, they don't put capitalism above everything else.
Yeah,
they just want to like, I just want to frolic. We have to go to Westchester. Did you get the TikTok I sent you? It's like these giant gardens. Like it looks like you're in like an Italian villa, but it's in Westchester, New York, which is like a 35-minute train. And it's like this beautiful, I'll show it to you after this, but we're gonna go and
Olive Garden.
Yes. Yes, there's an Olive Garden attached to the back of the villa.
Beautiful.
And we're gonna go and we're gonna eat all of their dairy, and then something bad is gonna happen.
Literally never see the light of day.
Something bad is gonna happen in Westchester County, New York. But we're gonna go because I need to frolic in those gardens.
Yeah, I agree.
Badly.
It's been getting so bad where sometimes when I travel, like I have, like when we're somewhere and my stomach hurts, like I immediately start Googling hotels.
Four Seasons down the street, babe.
No, literally, like when we went to Potosi, like I talked about in the last episode, I was literally Googling like hotels like the second we got there.
That's crazy.
That's
a burden. Such a burden.
It's so bad. But
tummy
yeah.
troubles be like that.
Oh,
Because I'm usually IBS-C, chronic constipation, but sometimes rarely it's IBS-D. And when I tell you when it is D, I can't leave the house.
Sometimes it's
IBS.
B, the B word. When it comes to music, what are you listening to? Like, what's on the docket for music? Oh, we did cover music. We went to Claro.
Yeah, we went to Claro.
But I did want to, like, it is kind of fun to kind of talk about, like, some of the other podcasts or media I've seen. I just recently watched The Role Model and Jake Shane.
Role Model, who famously left me on red on Instagram last week.
But you need to watch the episode, and I'll, like, quickly recap it.
Just watch the Joe Jonas one and the Teffy one. Teffy and Jake Shane, like that was the best interview ever. I ride for Teffy. You need to watch your episode. Teffy, if you're watching this,
I have no idea.
Be on the podcast. Like, you're my role model. Role model segueing into role model Jake Shane's podcast. Yeah. Still.
Let me preface by saying Role Model and I have the same sense of humor. Like, Role Model was doing like kind of like was talking about Clinton Kane, like bringing up Clinton Kane like casually in conversation. Like that's something that he's done on TikTok or whatever. But the interview actually is so awkward and so kind of like weird because they have nothing in common.
Literally us.
And
literally our podcast.
Don't say that.
People watch this and they say, where's the chemistry? We have a lot of chemistry.
Yeah.
We're Twitches.
We're literally Twitches. But it is literally the funniest thing ever. Like halfway through the interview, Role Model's like, we have nothing in common, but Role Model says, I love you so much.
That's a beautiful thing. Role Model is like 30.
I'll enjoy.
Here's the thing, like I get the vibe from some of these like lately, these like 29, 30-year-old like straight males, and they're very like very, very in tune with like BRAT Summer and like Troye Sivan Summer. And I'm like, you're studying. Like you must be studying to like
like he kind of like, one of my pet peeves is when straight men don't know what to say to gay people, so they'll immediately start hitting on them. Role Model is like, hey, like you didn't show up to our date last night, like this yada yada yada.
Okay.
And then towards the end of the interview, Role Model is like, I'm the chink in your armor, you fill up all my hell. And then he literally says like, and I fill up all of your holes. And I was like, can you stop?
But that's like also middle school boy humor.
I know, but it's also like there's so many like other ways to relate to human beings and
sexuality.
Like, yeah.
Like being gay is not a personality trait.
Yeah. I enjoyed the interview, but I just like felt bad for Jake because I feel like I've been that girl like in so many situations where I'm like, please stop like awkwardly. Like sometimes it is just easier to do that, but it's like so makes everything like so awkward.
Like maybe just like don't even address it. Like
Jake would ask questions and then Role Model would be like, I'm listening to BRAT Summer, like blah blah blah, like Taylor Swift, like blah blah blah. And then when he does another interview that I just saw this morning, then they're like, shuffle your playlist. It has none of that on there.
I'm sure it's like Drake, XXXTentacion.
Granted, like do the best thing that you can do, which is sell the album, but at the same time I was kind of like, did you only really date Emma Chamberlain to promote your music?
Well, yes.
He didn't say it in the interview, but he said originally he had a completely different album and then he scrapped it to make this one. And I'm like, wow. Like, and then you wrote like 8 songs about Emma, which valid. You did just break up with her.
Literally my stepdaughter, I'm out for his blood. I'm out for his blood. And I was actually DMing you. I DM'd you, hi, Tucker. Not to be flirty. I DM'd you because I wanted to meet you out back to put up the dukes because that's my stepdaughter that you broke her heart. And me and Michael Chamberlain are going to be knocking down your door soon.
And he is friends with Kai, and Kai kind of like has that humor too, which I'm like
I'll
okay
forgive
with
it,
for
though,
some
for Kai.
reason. And like if that truly is Tucker, like I'm okay with that. But like I just don't know if it's real or not.
Well, that's the thing with the internet, is that is anything
not real,
real?
no.
Is anything true? Is anything fake? Like, who knows?
Is this podcast real?
No.
Existential crisis mode. But yeah, that was like one of the things that I consumed recently.
I'm a podcast fiend. I love podcasts, but I think that was it. Yeah. I think this episode, it's time to wrap up.
Yes.
And thank you guys so much for being here.
We rocked it, and we're so happy to be back in person. I feel like it's so much more fun to film these in person and to actually be in New York. We low-key, we did that.
Why did we low-key move to New York?
No.
Like, why are we low-key in New York right now?
And on episode 1, we girlies were just chatting about it.
We were. Wait, the way we did it in 9 weeks too.
Yeah.
Why are we epic?
Yeah.
Why are we epic as fuck?
And I'm so happy that we're close to our maybe like second or third month anniversary of the show. And it's been an amazing time.
I do love it.
And we're so close to 200 subscribers. So go and give us
hit that subscribe button,
thumbs up, and a subscribe button.
Rate us 5 stars. We always say, we're already number 1 on the charts, but if you could just keep us there, please do that. So rate us 5 stars, leave a review on Apple and Spotify. If you do that and send us like a little screenshot of you doing that to our DMs on Instagram, we'll send you a little fun video maybe of us thanking you.
Of my long legs. Or maybe we might even consider you to be in our feature film, which only has like 4 people.
It's literally us, Harris Dickinson, Timothy Chalamet, Paul Mescal. So like, you'd be in good company.
But is there a lot of slots? I don't know, but you can only try.
Yeah.
There's no harm in trying.
So definitely give us 5 stars. And yeah, thank you for watching. We appreciate you all so much. Everybody who tunes in every week. In the horse we trust is all I could say.
Join and gallop with us. And I also want to give a quick shout out to all my friends from home that said that they were watching, because I love y'all. I see you, girl.
To my mom who watches every week. My mom references the horse, I kid you not, daily to me. Because now she's back working as a tax consultant. And she's like, I'm just a slave to the horse. I'm like, girl, you are so real.
The grocery store gig that I just interviewed for was a horse gig.
Yeah, it's a horse gig. Being all the barista jobs I'm applying for daily, horse gigs, to get to the real money, which is number 1 podcast in the world.
And the next time y'all see us, I might be a Bushwick queen.
Oh my God.
I'm a lesbian right now, but I'm moving to Bushwick to be with the gays. Oh, we forgot to talk about the Liberty team, which I will be forcing Lauren to do a little trek out to see the women's basketball team.
The Lady Liberties.
And I'm so excited to cut together the amount of times I say the word lesbian, but I'm going for me, and I am dragging Miss Lauren.
Don't need to drag me. I'll happily walk alongside you.
And we're going to get all dressed up, and we're going to look like Billie Eilish.
Yes.
And we might run into Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
And
okay. Well, we'll see you guys soon. Hooves up. Bye, guys.
I think I fell out of a coconut tree.
Coconut. Boom, 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 like Papa Tom.